Hi, everybody. Welcome to this wonderful Hearts of Wulin game. It's a. I'll actually let Matthias describe it more because he'll do a better job than me. But if we want to go around and say who we are, what our pronouns are, don't have to say who we're playing because we don't really know yet. But just a quick little introduction. I'm Katie. I use she/her pronouns. Sorry, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm Starday. Hi, I use she, her pronouns.
Kika,
Hey, I'm Kika. I use she, her pronouns.
and I'll turn it over to Matthias.
Hi, I'm Matthias, he, him. And yeah, Hearts of Wulin is a role-playing game of wushu melodrama. And it's powered by the Apocalypse game. More specifically, it's influenced or inspired by three PBTA games. That's Monster Hearts, Mass, and The Veil. So if those mean anything to you, that'll give you a little bit of an idea what they might play like. But to just give an overview of what the game is about is in Hearts of Wulin, the players take on the role of skilled martial artists in a world of rival clans, conspiracies, and obligations. The stories will be driven by the characters' duties, romantic desires, and entanglements with other characters. Everyone has ties to factions, loves that they can't quite express, and secrets which will shake them to their core. We aim to explore this melodrama in action. So we aim at reactions and responses that are heightened, where nothing is ever simple and always something at stake. And while there may be factions, intrigue, and shady dealings as backdrop, the game is about playing to find out about the web of relationships and the conflicts therein. Tonally, by default, the characters do wondrous things, and fighting itself can be an expression of conversation. But otherwise, drives, desires, and emotions are often only spoken obliquely of. That's an important part about this game as well. And that people believe things. Like, if it is written down, it must be true. A disguise is perfect until it isn't. It's all about embracing that sense of sincerity. Subject matter-wise, this is a fictional version of ancient China. So, and with the historical and cultural accuracy of a soap opera. So we're aware of that. We're not, so we'll be respectful of the cultures involved, and like particularly me, like I'm super white, so I know that's where I'm coming from. So we're aware of that, like we don't have any exact analogies, that kind of thing, and we're treated with respect and are aware this is in a heightened fantastical space. There's going to be fantasy violence, martial arts involved. Fighting is a major part of the character expression, so that's also going to be a thing. Which leads us to safety tools. We discussed those beforehand. We've got the X, N, and O card in play. And we also had a document where we set up lines and veils. So all of those things are there. The structure of today's game is going to be, our first hour is going to be largely character creation, where we will go through who we're actually playing and setting up how these characters are entangled with each other. So, any questions about this thus far? Anything? Or maybe I should say like a little bit about how this is going to be played as well, right? So, because I think, Star, it's your first powered by the Apocalypse game, right?
Yep.
Awesome. That's
My first two.
Oh, great. That's really, so you have Katie on your side, so that's a good thing. She knows her stuff about this. The major conceit of how these games are played. One, it's all play to find out. So I don't have a predefined plot for you where you have to go check off the major plot points, right? It's going to develop however it's going to develop. I don't know beforehand either. That's on the one side. And on the other side, it's everything's supposed to flow from the fiction and back into the fiction. This sounds super abstract. What this means is it's less about looking at your character sheet and picking which spell you want to cast, and more about just going ahead and making up and saying and role-playing what you're doing. And at certain points, the game's mechanics raise the hand. It's like, I got something to say about this. And it's very specifically worded that way. Those things, those little procedures are called moves, and they always start with when you are trying to do whatever. So in this game, what's a good example? Let's pick one. You can find the moves on the tabs on the bottom, basic moves and other moves. So yeah, this is a good one. So as an example, if you're trying to get an NPC to do something, maybe to let you into the club, you want to get past the bouncer. It's not a good example from this game in general, but when you pressure someone susceptible to your words, say what you're trying to get them to do and roll. That's like a good example. But that's kind of my job as the GM in this game to say, oh, that sounds like you're triggering off this move. And then we go to the little procedure it describes, and that outcome we're going to tie back into the fiction. And that's like the important bit about that. So it's often less about resolving one particular task and more about what's the intent, what are you trying to get at, and what's the next narrative beat here. And we'll find that out in a conversation between each other. When it says roll, it always means you're rolling, or most of the time, yeah. If it says roll, it's 2d6. And you get to add a modifier to that. If you're rolling a 10 plus, you usually get everything you wanted out of that situation. If you're rolling a 7 to 9, you get a middling result, but you're still getting basically what you wanted. If you're rolling a 6 minus, I get to do something. If you're not rolling 6 minuses and you're being active, I never get to do anything as the GM, basically. Yeah, those are the basics. Or questions about that, because I went over really fast. Like, feel free to always interrupt me and interject, even as we're playing. Like, I don't have an issue, or if there's ever a question about any rules, just or corrections. I don't mind those either. Yeah. So, if you look at the bottom tabs, there are 3 tabs. There are CC1, CC2, CC3. And those are the CC stands for character creation. In the CC1 tab, we've got look and name, style, G, and playbook. Those are the first 4 basic steps, steps that you can do basically alone. And what I actually did is I opened the spreadsheet twice, so I can have one open on the tab to enter stuff and one open on the characters tab and one open on another tab. So have you gotten a chance to look at those first 4 steps?
Yeah, I think I'm good with those. So I probably don't need to be walked through it, I don't think. But, of course, I'm do it for everyone else, and I'll pick up if I miss anything.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first step, look at name. It gives you a little list here that you can pick from, but you can also make up your own. Oh, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. I've 1 or 2 questions about the setting we kind of need to answer. Sorry. One is, one basic thing is that we're playing like characters from the martial clans, which kind of exist outside of the normal realm. Like they have their own power structures, their own rules. While they live under the emperor, the emperor's kind of far removed at the moment. They may become an issue in the game. Who knows? We'll see. But our stories will focus on the relationships and struggles within the Wulin world. What we do have to decide, though, is in this fantastic version of ancient China, our characters will always be able to do wondrous things. But do we want to have a further fantastical element? Like, do we want to have this? Like, by default, there's no sorceries, ghosts, or active gods, but we can go for that if we want to as an element. Do we have feelings about that?
I personally would like to keep things kind of simple for my first time, just so I don't get like too confused.
I'm not for or against like any kind of sorcery magic thing, so either way is not gonna hurt me.
Yeah, and this is not as much as a mechanical decision, right? So we're not introducing a completely new rule book just because we wanted to have ghosts.
Just a
so no worries about that. Yeah. But I like that. We can keep it like that. It's good for everyone.
Yeah, we could make it so that there isn't any like sorcery and magic, but people have a lot of superstitions about things like that.
Yeah, people believe that, right?
Yeah.
So it says something when someone says, I saw the ghost of whoever walk in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. That carries weight with it. That kind of goes with the whole agenda that the characters come with as well. The embracing the sincerity of it. The part about characters talking obliquely about emotions, desires, and drives. I think that's also an important part about the tone, right? And there's actually, if you look at the basic move lists, a central move about that, which is called inner conflict. So likely, like, if we get I don't know, we probably never will, right? If someone has to like really wants to confess their love to someone, it's unlikely in this game, right? That's not gonna happen. If it did,
this isn't a soap opera or anything.
Yeah, if it did, it probably will trigger off the inner conflict move. When you come face to face with emotional turmoil and pressure from one of your entanglements, roll anything but your style element. Oh, here's a neat thing, by the way. As you're like I'm talking a little bit, but feel free to like start filling out the first steps. Like 1 and 2 is basically you deciding a little bit about what your character feels like. 3 is just picking the array for your G, and that's what I wanted to talk about. The array says what it says about your character. So you see how there are a couple of themes or emotions associated with them, or what shall we call them? On your character sheet, right? Earth is caution, focus, presence, or in the negative, obsessive, disdainful, uncaring. You'll, for the most part, you get to pick what stat you're rolling. So it's not like a certain move is associated with one of those stats. You get to pick which stat you want to roll. And that should, or the idea here is that should probably be reflective of in what kind of mood and what kind of outlook is your character acting in this moment. On the one hand, on the other hand, there's this thing where your chi can get marked. That's basically the damage system of the game. If your chi is marked, you can't use it. So that's going to be the thing that's going to prevent you to always wanting to use your highest stat. So it's a little bit of a decision. What makes sense in the moment for you, but also what makes sense in the fictionally, and how much risk you want to take in a certain situation with what's happening. So, Star. Do you see in step 3 where it says you get to pick one of those arrays? Or have I lost you? Do you know what we're looking at?
Yes, the chi stats.
Yes.
Okay.
So you get to pick. You can pick one of those, and they are what you enter for Earth, Fire, Metal.
Okay. And do I enter the number anywhere, or it has to be in that order?
Oh, yeah, in any order. It's just one of those arrays, but you can. If you're picking the first array, your +2 can go in anywhere.
Would.
Nice.
One. Wait, am I missing one?
It's +2, +2 + 1, 1 0, and 1 -1.
And 1 - 1. Okay. There we go.
And you all need to pick one of your chis as your style element. So when you're fighting, you'll always be using that one. So usually you get to, like, if you're doing anything outside of fighting, you get to pick what chi you're going to use to maybe like to get into the bar, right? But you have a certain style, and that style is represented by one particular chi.
The min-maxer in me just fought so hard against using my highest chi. I'm not going to.
Well, yeah. And I'll talk a little bit about how fighting works in this game too in a moment. Because it doesn't have prolonged fights like you would know from D&D, for example. There are no rounds. Basically, the entire world is there are scales to everybody that you meet. If your own scale is above someone else's scale, you'll pretty much always win the fight. If you're below someone's scale, you always lose it unless you manage to like cheat, manipulate the environment beforehand, go off, train in a new technique, and especially designed to defeat this opponent, that kind of thing. Yeah. Also, if you choose mark that is your style element, you can't fight. So that's a thing to keep in mind.
A lady.
Or yet.
So it looks like we have an idea. Oh, by the way, yeah, there's also a tab with factions and names. So if you need names to pick from, if you look at that, there is this at the top. There are a couple of factions where it says righteous orthodox and unrighteous unorthodox. That basically just means that's their reputation. Like they might turn out to be super evil, and that might be a twist in the story that we come across or not. You have to check out and see. Yeah, so you need to be associated with one of the factions. If you have a strong idea, we could also talk about making up our own. But it's basically about picking one of those that you feel like makes the most sense. Yeah. And then step 4 is basically picking a playbook and a role from a playbook, which you all already picked a role, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
And that gives you definitely one move already that comes with that role. So, for example, right star, you pick the accidental.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets the move. You say you don't know martial arts and you believe that, but somehow you tumble through conflicts and flummox opponents. You have a style element, but no style or weapon beyond what you mistakenly pick up. It could be luck, a curse, or forgotten teachings. The first time you fight a named opponent, you gain +1 forward. However, you must always show your opponent mercy. +1 forward means you get a bonus, basically. That's all that it means. It's another bonus to your roll.
Okay.
And you must always show your opponent mercy refers to something that's in the move when you duel people. You just have to pick that option. And you get to pick 2 more moves if you scroll down. You see there's like a list of stuff in that column. Right, first one is Everlasting Chivalry, for example.
Ooh.
and you get to pick 2 other moves. That's a lot. We don't. We can get into it. If there's something that grabs you, you can pick that. We can also pick that while we're playing, as we're getting into it. And if we like after this first session feel like, oh, I think I made the wrong choice, that's fine. We can go back and change that. Otherwise, I would just, like, feel free to just go with what name sounds cool. And you can copy and paste those in below on the characters tab as well.
Yeah, what did I do?
I think you did the right thing.
I made like weird boxes.
Oh yeah, I think double clicking into the box so you then pasting should fix it.
Yeah, I did that about 5 times. Oh no, I broke it. I broke the formatting.
I'm sorry.
Kika, are you just playing Aladdin with this royal tramp move? This is just Aladdin.
I'm playing into my trickster role.
I don't even know. I'm just gonna pick whatever.
I actually thought about this.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you can also don't have to make the decision right now, or we can go later, go back and change when you find out. Oh, this character is actually like that. Maybe that other move is a better fit. That's completely fine. Just so we have something to play with. Have you all decided on a name yet? Because I only see a name for Katie's.
I think names are the hardest thing for me to pick.
It took me 3 hours to pick that name. I was just like, wait, I don't like this one. I don't like...
You could also go by just picking one from the list on the Factions and Names tab. And it can either be normal name, or you can go by one of the other names or make up your own.
Is my name fine? I picked one.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like the other
perfect.
names.
I almost went with one of the other names because they were so good.
When we have a name, I think then it's time to do like a round of introductions. But what you like imagine this character, like the basic concept, who they are, and stuff.
I love them.
Yes.
Story.
Yeah.
Love it. Now we match.
So, Katie, do you want to start like telling us your character's name,
Sure.
like their look, outlook, and what their fighting style is? That's very important.
I'm playing Chao Sung, who is the devoted child role. I think they're a young member in the Purity Sword sect. So I think that's someone who has taught them everything, and they it's who they're loyal to. And I picked my style name as a Sun and Moon Serpent Sword, and element is water. Oh, their look is long and flowing locks, lively eyes, glowing skin, and courtly garb.
Nice. But you actually have like your highest status actually in metal, which is control, calculation, and reflection, which is interesting. And you actually fight with both saber and sword. Is that, am I imagining that correctly? Okay. Nice. And the moves you went for,
so you get the Devoted Child move, which is you're loyal to your family and they support you. Once per session, you may call in a favor. They may ask favors or have expectations for you. I picked Heaven Sword and Dragon Saber. You possess a legendary blade which can be recognized wherever you go. You gain +1 when you deal with mooks or impress someone from the martial world. Then I picked Paladins and Troubled Times. When you seek advice from a senior, roll. On a hit, they tell you what to do. You get XP, and if you follow their advice, you get +1 ongoing. On a 7 to 9, you get +1 ongoing if you do it their way. On a miss, they don't have time for you, which is so cruel. And you mark Chi.
Yeah, and anytime it says mark Chi, or when I say mark Chi, which can be a reaction, it's usually the Chi that you rolled with.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Nice. So you're Purity Sword sect.
Yes.
Just one of those
she's very
righteous fact.
Yeah, I think she's very righteous and traditional.
Nice. Okay. Kika, you want to go next?
Yeah. My character is named Northwind Ling. Sort of what she tells people her name is. She is kind of pale, kind of dirty, with long hair, in her early 20s, and wears like old hand-me-down traveling clothes. I picked the Trickster rogue for her. She uses a spear as a weapon. Her style name is Winter's Rose, and she uses the element of fire for that. And her faction is the 100 Ghosts. For move.
Oh,
what?
So those are unorthodox. What do you? The 100 Ghosts. Why did you pick them, or what do you feel about them?
I felt like having just a group of. I thought being associated with a faction that people would be kind of unsure of would be very fitting for this character. I don't really see this character fitting in with one of the more orthodox sects, and my concept for her didn't quite fit in the ambiguous ones either. And the Holy Society didn't sound like something that she'd be a part of. Plus the 100 Ghosts sounds cool.
Yep. No, that's perfect.
Yeah. The moves I picked, I got Trickster, which is your Trickster. Happy-go-lucky and smart. You know how to use the rules of the Wulin and outside world to your advantage. You always have leverage when you use hearts and minds, even against those who might not otherwise be susceptible to your words. And the other ones I picked are Royal Tramp and Have Sword Will Travel. Royal Tramp is you may attempt to escape a situation when surprised, or even when surprised. When you try to escape, roll. On a hit, you get away. On a 7 to 9, choose a complication, which is, my choices are: you must mark Chi, you end up in another dangerous situation, you leave evidence behind, you owe someone for your escape, and on a miss, you leave yourself vulnerable. And for Have Sword Will Travel, which is one that I'm super excited about, once per session, you may announce your presence in the perfect place to help someone, ignoring usual limits of time, distance, and plausibility.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Cool. And then we have Star. What's your character's name? I'll let you say it.
My guy's name is Perfect Mist, but you can call him Misty. He has wild hair, stormy eyes, chiseled features, and he's very beautiful.
He also has his own brand of perfume.
He's in the role of Accidental, which apparently is I am just flailing through life with random martial arts, which, you know, I thought sounded really funny.
Yep.
My style name is One Soul Legion, with my element being wood. I decided to go with the Yun clan, which the note said was destroyed 15 or so years ago. So yeah, I kind of imagine him being like, you know, not really with any sides, like, you know, he's from this clan that's been destroyed, he's going about his life. In the moves, one of the ones I picked was shadow boxing. A secret group or order aid you. You may not be aware of their assistance. So it's like, you know, like he's from this destroyed clan that's probably dispersed in the shadows, but they might be like still secretly helping each other out, and he has no idea this is going on.
Yeah, and it's definitely the One Soul Legion that assists you in a sense, right? That's how it makes sense that you have a style name there. Yeah.
Yeah, like and my other one is the Golden Lion, mostly because all the other characters I've ever role played has had like some sort of animal companion. So like, you know, he'll have this big stupid dog that was probably like given to him as a present and trained to like be his protector.
Nice. Yeah. I love this. That's Perfect Mist. Yeah, and I mean the way you picked your chi elements as well, right? Like the +2 in wood with patience, growth, and curiosity, but the -1 for metal. So not really very reflective of what's going on and happening in his life, I assume. Is that it?
Like kind of clueless.
Yeah. I love it. That's going to be perfect. Nice. Yeah. Now we get to the really fun part. And that's entanglements. So that's the 5th step is entanglements, and you'll get to pick 2, a general one and a romantic one. And if you click on the CC3 tab, there are 3 suggestions for each one of those. You could also pick one, like you don't have to pick out of those categories. So if you're playing the Bravo, you don't need to pick one of those 3 general ones. You could pick from the entire list, but then you have a huge list to look over. So that's why they are structured that way. Entanglements are always there are always 2 elements to them. They each represent a fraught relationship with another person and a third party who complicates that relationship. Does that make sense? So here is, you should at least pick one fellow PC in one of those to get this thing going.
Okay, this is a lot to read.
And we can start with like either or, and if someone already has an entanglement that just jumps out at them, like, do say so. And
I sort of have one idea for like because you can use an NPC, right? You can make up an NPC for this.
yes,
Okay.
I'm getting NPCs from this as well, because they wouldn't probably work if just the other two player character names were in here.
Yeah. So for my general one, I have an idea. I really like the my friend blank suspects blank of evil, but I remain steadfastly loyal. I like the idea that maybe there's another student who was brought up alongside Chow and suspects that the Purity Sword sect might not be that pure and suspects them of evil, even though, they're orthodox, they're righteous, their motives might not be righteous for everyone else.
Okay.
For my general, could I actually I've learned my friend blank has been betrayed by their teacher blank, but they will never believe me, and have that friend be Katie's character.
Oh! So you suspect the Purity Sword sect of evil, but I don't believe you. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
So Northwind Ling is, I've learned my friend Chao Sung has been betrayed by their teacher. Oh, I definitely need a teacher's name then.
Yep.
What if they have one of these fun other names too? Just because I love them.
Yeah.
What about, are you cool with Shadowed Saber, Kika? Just because that's what Chow practices, perhaps that's their teacher that
Okay.
taught them that.
What's the name?
Shadowed Saber.
Shadowed Saber. For my romantic entanglement, can I have like a love thing with a prince and their like brother does not approve?
Yes. Please.
I need names for those. Give names, please. Give me 2 good names.
Two brothers? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. They are of royal birth and thusly do not approve of me.
Well, why don't we go with maybe we just go with Jin and Ju. How?
Spelled how?
This is what I'm thinking. Jin and or Jin and Yu.
Oh, okay. Got it, thanks.
So which so you love Yin, but the sibling Yu considers you beneath them.
Yup.
I see.
Makes sense because I'm a weird, dirty martial arts hobo.
So is this who's the older one of those two?
I think you is the older one.
Yeah, and is keeping an eye out for his younger brother.
Yeah.
And how did you? Can I ask how you? This sounds like Yin does love you back, right?
Yeah, probably.
I
think I saved him from bandits.
You saved him from bandits, and that's the fateful event, the fateful meeting.
Yep.
Did you both fall head over heels in love, or is this more Yin and you more playful, but sincere, affectionate? When
I think Yin has extremely serious feelings for my character, but my character is still sort of sorting her own feelings out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And she likes him, but she's not sure yet how much.
Nice.
I have my romantic one. I love blank, who I overlooked for too long. Now they love someone else. And I said I love Min, who I imagine is another student who trained with me. I think we were like best friends, and I think he loved me, but I didn't see it. I cared more about becoming like a good devoted student and learning my style and everything. I wanted to be the best sort of student I could be, and now I think as I've gotten better at what I'm doing, I think now that I have feelings for men, they love Jan, which is someone who is older than us. So Jan probably has no feelings for men or anything, but Min is completely entangled and obsessed with Jan.
You can also pick another character, like a prayer character here.
Oh, right? I know. Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I do like that one though. If Star has someone like, who does Perfect Mist love? Because that could easily be changed to work with Perfect Mist.
I honestly don't know. Like, you guys choose for me. I'm bad at this.
I think I might put Perfect Mist in there. I think now they love Perfect Mist.
Yeah, I like that. It's up for you to decide how much Perfect Mist is even aware of that. But at least you know each other. You know Min.
I don't think Perfect Mist knows that Min is head over heels in love with him. Yeah, like
probably not.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about the whole accidental kind of thing. Yeah, I think Min is just like this unrequited love, and he's like obsessed with Perfect Mist, and it's like that kind of person that Perfect Mist will do something, and Min is like cheering him on the whole time.
Like that.
It also sounds to me that Perfect Mist is then currently hanging out with the Purity Sword sect.
Yeah, I kind of figured that, I don't know, with this whole history I built, Perfect Mist family is probably, I don't know, wealthy, so he just kind of like comes and goes wherever he wants to, and nobody really says anything.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes he just wanders into this faction's house or something, and they're just like, well, okay, welcome, I guess.
It's this guy again.
Yeah.
And his big dog.
And
tiny delicate things.
Are people like, people don't say anything until you would cause a ruckus? Because, I mean, your clan is lost, so there's a certain not pity, but more of like a kind of like a social security thing going on with, well, they're clanless now, but they are of the Wulin world, so they need to be respected, and they're generally welcome if they like don't cause too much of a ruckus, which sometimes happens with you, but so sometimes there's a reason where you need to leave again.
Yeah, and I kind of figured like if he like screws up and accidentally breaks something or whatever, his little shadow boxing secret group probably like ninjas in and like leaves money on the counter for it or whatever. So he's just like, yeah, well, okay, I'm out of here, and then like nobody really complains because he got paid for it.
Okay, yes, nice. Who are Yin and Yu, by the way, associated with, faction-wise? Mika, do you have
I have no idea.
That's okay. Then it's cool. You can leave that up to me. Then I'll.
It might be the Purity Sword sect.
Oh no, my sect.
What do you get for picking like an orthodox sect?
I know, right? That makes sense, though, in a way that why I would know Ling is that Ling's involved with these two from my sect, and that's probably how I,
Yeah.
It makes sense.
So now I'm curious.
You're the person who puts up with me.
Perfect Mist. Your entanglements. What are you seeing here? And do you want to lean? How hard do you want to lean into making this a player character triangle? Because you could.
Hard.
Yeah. Let's hear what you picked and who you're suggesting or asking.
I'm not too sure about the second one.
Okay, can find out. But I like your romantic one though.
I don't know who I humiliated myself in front of.
Yeah, so you picked. I humiliated myself in front of blank, who I desire, and Northwind will not will let no one forget it.
Ooh.
Yes, that's actually a good idea. You going for Kiana's character here?
This is perfect.
Yeah.
I love
So all we know about who Kiana's going to be playing is she picked a wandering monk. So it's natural that you could have come across in your travels. The big question is, because of Northwind is like constantly retelling that story to everyone. How? Like, what actually happened?
I was going to make a big show of, how amazing I am and desirable I am with my wild hair and stormy eyes. And I was gonna run up to Kiana's character and like do my thing when my dog Floof ran in front of me. I tripped over him, rolled down a small hill, and landed face first in the mud.
It's so good.
Nice.
And the best thing is, like, Kiana's character probably didn't even notice and just kept on walking.
What if Ling calls Perfect Mist Perfect Mud? Because
Yes.
That's so good.
Okay, yeah. And your general one, you were still.
I'm unsure of the other one. I mean, I just like picked a random one from the list, but I'm like iffy about that.
So what is it actually? What are those suggested ones?
Ooh, I kind of like this one better. No, why didn't you paste? Paste? No? No?
Sometimes it's weird.
Oh.
I like that one better.
Okay. Who did you reject? And of what faction are they? And was this an accidental rejection? Not a conscious one as well again?
It might be.
You just rolled down another hill and they took it as rejection.
Oh yeah, you know, they were coming to declare their love for me and I accidentally rolled downhill away from them.
You rejected
I
you.
reject you.
Oh. Poor you. No wonder they're so bitter.
Oh wow, yeah.
They think that Northwindling's beneath them.
So this also implies that, which is very good, is that although you're of a lost clan, there is some social standing to who you are, right?
Yep.
Nice, I like that.
With my random ninja money.
He
Yep.
probably knows more about that than you do.
Probably.
That also can tie in one reason you considers Ling beneath them. They've sworn vengeance.
Ooh.
Yeah. Who's that friend that's tied into this Northwind? Yeah.
I like the idea that Northwind also continuously teases you about your mistake, but then you're just really good friends. It's true friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what friends do.
It is.
Yeah.
Just won't let you live it down, but they're still, they'd like go up to bat for you and know, you know, in anything. I love that.
Like, I'd be nice to you if we weren't friends.
Then the last bit is the bonds. Yeah, you all put already down. You get one bond with your faction, and you get one bond with any other player character, and you can put down like a simple descriptor, like for example what you just talked about, being friends with or something like that.
All right, I'm down with that.
Or if you're like siblings or that kind of thing.
Who do I pick?
You're just friends with everyone.
I know.
You're so popular.
So lovable. I think I'm gonna go with actually Perfect Mist, because I feel like if I had a closer bond with Chow Sung, they'd listen to me.
That makes sense.
And those bonds, the way they are used is as an actual resource that you can burn. That doesn't that keeps still fictionally you'll still remain friends, but it's like, oh, the energy of that relationship is tapped currently and needs to be revived potentially. and you can burn them to get a +1 after a roll.
So it's sort of like strings.
Yes, but in the opposite, in the positive, basically, right?
Yeah, strings are bad in Monster Hearts.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. I think, yeah. Then, is there any question? Otherwise, I think we should go for a break.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
you'll be fine.
I'll probably need a couple of minutes, like more than 5.
Of course, yeah. This first break will be a little bit longer, just so Matthias can get everything together. Because, like he said at the beginning, this is sort of it's completely unplanned. Good Powered by the Apocalypse games. We'll be back in we'll probably say about 10 minutes, maybe. But if Matthias needs more time, it's no big deal. Just hang out and chat. We'll be right back. You can listen to some great violin music, and we'll be back.
except for
Hi
magic.
everybody, we're back. After our break, Matthias can get our already bullshit together. Yeah, I'll give it back over to you, Matthias.
Yeah. So, I think what we're opening up on is let's get the names. Yeah, I think it's Northwind Ling and Perfect Mist. You two have been on the road together. You're currently traveling together, and you're heading towards Purity Sword sect country, basically. Obviously, there's this thing where you've recently found out, Northwind, about the betrayal, like how Shadow Saber has betrayed Chao Sung, and you want to let her know of that betrayal. Chao Sung is she, her, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. So that's a thing to be nervous about, because you don't know how that will go over, right? One question here is this a thing you've like this motivation? Is that a thing that you have that Perfect Mist in on, or is this something that you're holding, like keeping close to your chest as a thing?
I think I've hinted at it, but I haven't explicitly said anything about it. You know?
Here's a question for Perfect Mist, because you are of a rather curious nature. Does like rumors like that, do they like catch your interest, or because some things completely go over your head, we know that already, right?
Yeah.
But there's also a thing where at least like you've looking at your G stats, you're someone who has some curiosity.
Yeah, I think in general, like he probably hears a lot of rumors, especially being the kind of person he is and from the clan he's from. So I think he's the kind to kind of not really pick and choose what rumors he pays attention to, but more like it's a roll of the dice, whatever catches his attention at the time. It's like sort of a big ADHD thing or whatever, but whatever rumor catches his attention, he'll just follow that path until something else catches his attention.
So have you picked up on the hints that Northwind has been dropping, or not at all?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay. Yeah, so is this a thing where you would try to tease more out of her? Okay. So I think yeah, maybe let's have that scene. So you're coming down the road, and there's like a river crossing in the not too far off, but and there's like already like a line forming where like there's a couple of carts, and there's like this big toll house that's being operated by the Orcs Pilgrim Escort Bureau, where there's like going to be waiting involved here. Hopefully not too long for you to cross. Otherwise, there's like there's definitely like a kitchen with like this half outside place where you can get food as well. But yeah, like your travel comes to a stop because like there's a cart in front of you, and there's like some official person who's like already like checking wares and like going about like how much toll do they have to pay to use the bridge, and it goes by arrival, not by if you're just on foot that you get basically there's no fast lane for I don't have any wares. You queue up, so you're queued up now, basically.
No fast track.
No fast track. So there's this situation where there's a chance to actually inquire about this. Maybe what's like a detail about this thing that made you feel this might be an interesting thing, and like feel free to collaborate on that. Was there maybe something in the way Northwind Ling communicated this that made it, well, this sounds more emotionally charged than the usual gossip? Or how do you?
Yeah. I guess like, you know, it's a little bit of urgency.
Yeah. How do you two like talk past each other most of the time? Is that how your relationship is like? That's why you get along so well?
Talk what?
Past each other?
I guess.
I don't know. I think Northwind Ling isn't the sort of person to generally talk past someone.
Mm-hmm.
But in this instance, their conversations keep going back to Chaosung like more than is normal, and it gets really suspicious.
And I probably like elbow being all like, so what's your obsession with Chaosung?
No, I'm just worried about Chaosung, you know.
In what way? I mean, you've been talking about Chao like a lot.
Oh, well, I mean, all those books can't be good for someone.
Are you sure it isn't anything else? You know, maybe you got something.
Ugh.
That's actually perfect place I want to cut, because I think there's we hear like the first tones of a zither being played, and so we hear those strings being intoned, and then it's like shortly after a voice falls in with the with the singing of a ballad, and we focus over and we see where like a couple of people have already gathered at this food place, which is this place that's like it has a roof but is half open, and just like more seats outside as well that can be used if it's not raining. So like on a day like this, it's kind of nice. And I mean, the line isn't moving anyway, so there's like the first people who've like gone, well, then let's have a rest here and some food. And we see Min, who on like a little stage that's set up there, has sat down to play and sing. What's like a thing about Min that's like striking when you
I think men, maybe because what is the name of my sect? Purity Sword is so orthodox. I think that they stick to like very, because I describe Chao Sung's clothing as courtly garb. Maybe they stick to like these very muted kind of plain colors. I think that Min is completely against that. Like Min wears beautiful emeralds and purples in his robes, and it's all like, you always know that that's Min, because even though he's in this sect, he always wears like if they have an insignia or something, but he is always wearing some kind of bright color. It draws him in.
Mm-hmm. And I think we see you watching this performance. Probably Chao Sung, like probably. I think that so there's two things that have been occupying you, or three things that have been occupying your mind today. One is, yes, you've heard Min is returning to play. You've been wondering like what's made him, like what call he's following to return. So you're curious about that. Then you've taken note of some, but you were thinking, well, you got the impression of some rather shady people moving in, and you wanted to check out if everything is on the up and up. And then there's this letter of proclamation that you've received, and it's proclaiming and inviting basically all the important people of the Wulin world to bear witness to Yin's engagement to I got a name, to Xinwei. So that's the thing. That's that kind of shook the world, or the social. That's the social news of the day today, basically. So I think you even have that, and we see this because you have like that scroll that was handed to you, and you roll that up as you start watching Min's. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you see Chao Sung reading it and just very nervously looking around. Like she understands it's an engagement, so she just didn't see it coming. So there's like a look of shock and worry on her face.
Yeah. But back in line, North Windling and Perfect Mist. It's not moving. And you can smell the good food scents drifting over. There's nice music playing over there. You're not. Yeah.
I'm kind of like looking at the food and then looking, like leaning over in the line and just kind of like eyeballing the river underneath, just kind of like, could we? And then looking back at the food and then raising an eyebrow.
Like sitting by the food and eating.
Come again, please.
Yeah, when you look back at the food, Northwind is sitting by the food eating it.
Nice.
I was kind of like, how did he just go after him?
Oh, did I say Jew, by the way? It's obviously Jin's engagement to Xinjue, not Jews. Oh, no. I'm sorry for that mix-up. No, it's Jin who's been obviously having an engagement. Oh. Sorry about that.
That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, you don't even you haven't even heard about the news.
It's not Northwind's true love or anything.
And yeah, so you sit down and there's oh, Northwind, you're immediately into the food.
Yeah.
Perfectness, you see one of the workers of the kitchen also come up and oh, Honorable Wulin, and give a nod to the both of you. Would you like something to drink with that? And it's already an uncorked carafe that he's got, and basically a couple of small wooden shot cups that he's putting down for the both of you.
I'll say, I would like your hottest tea and some water for my dog.
Oh, coming right up. And this is on the house. And pours some of that and is off to hopefully get you your tea as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just sit down next to Northwind, so come on, tell me, what is it with your obsession with Xiao Sung?
Oh, well, if you're gonna keep bringing it up,
yeah.
I'm just worried about Xiao Sung. We live in troubling times.
So Perfect Mist, Northwindling is your friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this might that might potentially be enough if you both agree for us to trigger hearts and minds, which is when you pressure someone susceptible to your words, say what you're trying to get them to do and roll. So this is something where we could put it to a roll if you can convince Northwindling to actually be spill everything that she knows. Is that what you're going for?
Yes. Tell me what to do. I want the dirt.
Yeah, I think you'd be using wood for this because of that curiosity.
Yeah, but you get to pick, right? You get to pick which chi you want to use here.
Yeah, sure. I'll use wood. Wood.
Every roll is going to be used with wood. Star. Doesn't matter what it is.
Katie.
She just knows me.
I bring out the best people.
All right. Yeah, you could just use the button that you should have now, right? Roll 2d6 plus G. Oh, maybe in roll 20.
Huh?
Did you also, because it wasn't visible at the beginning, if you go back to the 3 lines under collection at the top right?
Yeah, okay. I see it.
Yeah, and it will ask you to put in the modifier, which for wood is +2. Is that correct?
Okay.
For you? Yeah. Let me see how that roll goes. Yeah, so that's a 9. So for proceeds on a hit, they may mark XP if they do as you ask. If they don't, they mark Chi. They may burn a bond to avoid this. On a 7 to 9, you mark Chi as well if they decline. So the agency of following this is still basically with Kika. here. She wants to go along with that, but it's nice that like there's an XP dangling here. If Northwind Ling is going to spill her worries now.
And I think Ling probably will, because she obviously does want to talk about it to someone. So she, glances around to make sure no one's like spying on them and leans in close. It's like, you didn't hear this from me. In fact, you didn't hear this at all. But there is I've suspected that there is some foulness afoot in the Purity Sword sect. And well, I found out through people who will remain nameless that Shadowed Saber has already betrayed Chatsung. Shh, keep it down.
Really?
Really?
This is true?
As true as I can be certain of.
Holy shit! Oh, we gotta get at Chao soon quick.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Wait, my cat dog agrees too.
Do you think we can sneak by the officials?
Here's the thing, right? I want to blend over to Chao Sung. From where are you actually like kind of secretly watching Min play?
I think she is lingering near. Is Min playing on the like? Is it it's an outside area, but is the stage also outside?
I think the stage is underneath the roof, but it's open, so the music goes outside. So there's definitely like dark corners, or behind like a wooden pillar or something where you could just be hanging out.
Yeah, that's probably what Chao Sung is doing. That she's probably like leaning against a pillar, peeking out every now and then just to get a look, but definitely staying as hidden as she can.
Is there certain things you're looking out for, or
mostly at men? I think she's focusing mostly on men. Yeah. Have I seen Northwind Ling and Perfect Mist?
I mean, have you? You maybe not until you hear the surprised gasp of someone. That sounds very familiar.
Yes, that's perfect. I think
that draws your ear. Yeah.
I think it takes her attention away, and her head just whips over to this table where they are, and she smiles and walks over to them, like as your conversations, as you're sort of like telling each other to be quiet, and she just plops herself down at this bench, and I think takes whatever Ling is drinking and takes a drink of it.
I'd like do a double take, and I'm like,
oh hey, we did it. Go us. Good job, Muddy.
She looks at both of you. What do you mean? What did you do? Hello,
found you.
Friends. Oh, you were looking for me.
Yeah, we are the best there is.
Yeah, she has something to tell you. Tell her. I'm like wiggling in my seat.
In front of everyone?
Why not? Do you want to do this in private? We could go around back.
That seems more dirty.
I'm not really sure what you have something to tell. It must be important then if you were coming to find me.
Yeah, I mean, why else would I come see you?
I mean, it can't be because we're friends or anything.
No, of course not. That would be ridiculous. What, someone of my sect consorting with someone of yours? That would be quite the snafu.
Well, I never thought our friendship depended on what sect we were in.
I'm being sarcastic. Come on.
Oh, sorry. You know I'm not good with that.
Don't worry, I'm not good with either. Come on, tell her!
Ling just looks around like frantically to make sure no one's like listening in. And she leans in again. And then motions for Chaosung to lean in.
Yeah, she leans in.
I lean in too.
So, you didn't hear this from me. In fact, you didn't hear it at all. But there is word that there is some how should I put it? Let's just say not everybody in the Purity Sword sect has been so pure lately.
What do you mean?
Well, I have it on good authority. Very good authority, in fact. Trust me on this. I know you won't want to trust me on this, but you should trust me on this. Because I don't lead anyone astray. You know this. But
Yes.
I have heard that well, Shadowed Saber has not been the most ideal mentor.
Yeah,
And I think
Go ahead.
this is sorry. This is where we get the hard zoom in close up on your face, Chaosung, right?
Yeah, because her face is completely confused. She's leaned back, not really sure what to say.
Here's the thing. I think this triggers inner conflict, actually.
Okay.
In the sense of this directly relates to your entanglement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you come face to face with emotional turmoil and pressure from one of your entanglements, roll anything but your style element.
Okay, so I can roll anything but water.
And the idea here is, right? Just as a check-in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's enough when someone says something is this way.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I'm gonna roll with metal because of the calculation and control. I think that's gonna fit. So
Yeah, maybe. Are you still thinking, is Northwind Ling just pulling one over on me? Or?
exactly, yeah, and like trying to control her emotions.
Yeah, I like that.
Ooh, a 12.
Nice, very good. On a 10 plus, you manage to keep yourself together. So
Yeah, she takes a moment and takes a deep breath. On whose authority do you have this from? Because Northwind Ling, I care for our friendship and I love you, but that's someone who taught me everything I know.
Well, you know how we were traveling out east?
Yes?
Well, while I was there, I came across a group of travelers who had come from, well, your sect. They had left about a year ago. And one of them was Julie. You remember her. She was Shadowed Sword's friend, or Shadowed Saber's friend.
She was she left of her own accord because she didn't want to be punished for betrayal.
But that was... When I spoke to her, she told me about how it was Shadowed Saber who had performed that betrayal and blamed her.
She just looks from Northwind to Perfect Mist. You
It's not
can't
me.
be serious.
Well, according to her and the people she was traveling with, who seemed to swear quite vehemently to this fact, that is not the only thing he has done.
Why would you spread such horrible rumors about my mentor? Why would you believe such horrible rumors?
Northwindling. Is Chao Sung calling you a liar? I think it's your turn because you've got the same entanglement.
Are you calling me a liar?
I mean, yeah.
Certainly potentially implied here.
Yeah. It's
I
definitely
think-
implied.
Yeah, I think this is in a conflict for you as well.
What?
What chi did you pick?
Oh, I did +2. Instead, I should have just done 2, I think.
Yeah, but that's fine. Or yeah, we can. Okay, good. You're both rolling nicely. Yes, you managed to keep it together. You do not need to run from the scene or.
Now, I must admit I don't have physical evidence, but at the same time, it is the word of several people against the word of one, and I always did trust Julie when I knew her, and she did seem quite honorable at the time. I'm not saying anything is certainly true or not, but I am telling you what I've heard, and I wanted to come check on you to make sure that you were safe. Now, would somebody that wants to go around spreading petty rumors come to you first?
I appreciate you coming to me first. But also, you must know I can take care of myself, even if these rumors were true, which they're not. I would have to see evidence myself, and everything is perfectly fine.
Well, I'm just saying maybe you should start keeping your eye out for evidence.
That's what we should do, girls. We should investigate.
Yes, let's spy on people and break and enter.
Yes.
Both of those I just sound horrible, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's horrible. Sorry.
Good, you passed the
Besides,
test. We should orderly observe happenings and goings on to make sure that no nefarious plots are afoot.
Everything is going to be out of whack as it is. And she pulls out the scroll. With the prince's engagement to Jinyu.
Wait, what?
everything's-
What?
Did you not hear? And she pushes the
We
scroll.
just got here.
Well, I mean, I figured it would be news everywhere, but I just heard of it myself. Security's going to be anything you, not me, try to do, is going to be, we're going to be watched so carefully now with this engagement.
Well, if you can move freely, obviously we should hide ourselves with you.
Yeah. I mean, like, people let me go wherever I want to go, so, I'm
the only suspicious one here.
I mean, if you keep spreading rumors like this, then yes.
Well, then don't tell anyone. It's supposed to be a secret.
I know. In order to, have this not be a rumor, that's why we should figure out the truth.
And I think Northwind will try to take the scroll without anyone noticing.
Is there a contention from any of you, or
I don't think Chow would
Yeah,
care
no.
at this point, yeah.
then you can just slip it without anyone noticing? How do you?
Just while I'm leaning forward to speak conspiratorially, I
Mhm.
sort of have my arms on top of it, and when I lean back, I just slide it with me.
Gone. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and Chow is not even, she's so, there, you can see this, like, worrisome look that the both of you are going to get her into trouble. It's all over her face. It's written all over her.
But, well, it was good to hear about Ian. We should go see him and tell him congratulations. That's what we should do first. So we don't have, we're not worrying too much. We need to be able to act casually, so we should go. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go.
Yeah, I lean down and I like elbow my dog and it's like, yeah, we're gonna be casual. Come on, we got this.
Chow's just looking at this group. Oh, so we're okay. We'll go talk to the prince. Yes. That's,
casually. Yeah, let's go.
Casually, yes.
Casual.
Yes, both of you are very. I'm the one we have to worry about, aren't I?
Yes.
Okay.
Is this
intrigue? Yes.
Yeah, she's so
all right, or do you need to be convinced here?
No, she'll do it. If it's those two are telling that, we need to go do this, she's just also, she knows very well that she's the one they're going to have to worry about being casual.
Yeah. And you know that this will mean that this will definitely mean that no, what's his name? Shadowed Saber will also be there if it's such a big social gathering, right?
Yeah.
That's a thing. And yeah. So here's a question: who's drunk from who drank from the free booze that they gave out?
Chao Sung took a sip of Perfect Wind's tea, but that was all.
Oh.
Or wait, no, did I say that she took some of North Wind's drink? I can't remember.
You said North Wind.
Oh, North Wind. Okay, yeah, I think she took a long drink of that, but that was all.
So North Wind didn't drink anything.
Yeah, I don't think I drank anything either. Just I was too involved in the gossip.
Nice. So as you three, right, you stand up to I don't know, to go take care of this right now. Apparently, that seemed to be the energy at the table, right?
Yeah. No. Chow looks at North Wind and Perfect Mist. If you wanted to see him before the engagement party, I could maybe. Is that what? Yeah. Oh, okay. I could try to pull some strings, maybe, if it's important to you. I don't really understand why we need to go see him so soon.
Oh, pulling the strings, that would be good. It would be a lot more useful if we were allowed to be there than my plan.
Oh, you were planning on just breaking in?
No.
Well, I plan on walking in.
Nothing was gonna break.
Oh no. I want to use my move, Matthias, Devoted Child. So once per session, I can call in a favor, a letter of introduction, and just do a private ceremony. They may ask favors or have other expectations for you. So I want to call. I think if it's okay with you, Matthias, I want to somehow send word to Shadowed Saber that I want to meet me and my friends want to see Yin before everything.
I think that's a perfect plan. But as you basically suggest this and you get up, suddenly the world swirls around you. And before you can actually send out word to anyone or anything like that, I need you to roll Overcome.
Okay.
When you do something under pressure, roll.
Yeah, totally under pressure.
Obviously the booze has been tinkered with. This is not just normal alcohol. This is you being affected by a poison that wasn't meant for you.
Oh, it wasn't meant for me. Great. I'm going to roll with. I'm not going to add any modifier because I'm going to roll with Earth because I think if she realizes this feeling, oh, this is just going to be straight roll. This is great. Oh, it's an 11 though.
You do it. I mean, you keep you notice this and you take a step back. You're not affected by it. Like you are affected by it, but you can manage, and you know what's going on. Like immediately, you're like, this has been poisoned with dark root, right?
Yeah, I think as she's like stepping back, she feels it, the world get a little dizzy, and she looks up at North Wind. Oh, I'm really glad you didn't drink that.
What? Oh, what's going on?
I think someone was trying to poison you, Northwind.
Do you need me to punch you in the diaphragm to make you throw up?
No, I'm fine. I shook it off. Thank you though for caring so much.
Okay.
Who would want to do this? You said you just got here. Were you already in trouble?
Define trouble.
Were you running from something? From someone?
Well, I think she's the kind of person who's always in trouble, you know, having been her friend for a while, but...
I'm never in trouble. See, trouble has to catch you for you to be in trouble.
Technically, that's not wrong.
But your reputation precedes you.
Well,
Clearly.
Yeah. Well, I am a famous martial artist.
You're a famous troublemaker and pain in my side.
So, you three are like standing up at the table and you're discussing that there was something poisoned in there, but you're actually having this bickering instead of looking for the waiter who poisoned you, right? And I think we see this as we like slowly pan back, right? And there's like a couple of people who've stood up who don't quite look like they're your usual travelers, who are like kind of starting to surround, like covering the exits as you're still like bickering over who's done what.
Has the music stopped, or is Min just still playing, going on?
Min's playing action music now.
As those people stand up, could I use my have sword will travel to be like right between two of them and like arms over their shoulders?
I like that. Do we want to do that after the break? Because I think that's sounds really cool.
I think that's a good segue. Northwind just ends up, and you just see Perfect Miss and Chaoling looking like, where did she go? Why did she do this?
Cliffhanger.
Okay, everybody, we'll take this will be a quicker break than last time, about 5-10 minutes. But we'll be right back and go into this last hour. It's already getting a little full of drama and action. So we'll be right back. And we're back, everybody, for our last hour into this already dramatic, wonderful game. I love all these characters so much. Yeah, Matthias, take it away.
Yeah, and as we come back, we see, we only see Chao Sung and Perfect Mist standing kind of back to back, being surrounded by a bunch of mooks, right? That's what's happening here. While there's like behind the mooks, there's like this one guy standing there who's obviously like their leader and who's like staying back from the fighting. But I think who then receives a tap on the shoulder or something, or an arm around the shoulders.
Yeah, arm around the shoulder of that guy.
Yeah. And
spears in the other hand, and I just sort of like level at his neck.
And I think that's the cue when everything breaks out into chaos. So what I'm seeing here is that Northwindling is basically handling their leader.
Yeah.
Who will you other two are handling the bunch of mooks that are coming. Like, they're obviously going for or here's a question. I think I know the answer, Shao Sung. They are coming for Perfect Mist, not specifically for you. So you might have an opportunity here to duck out if you want to.
Oh no, I don't think she does.
I wasn't thinking.
She's already pulled her sword from the where it sits on her back and pulled out her saber from where it sits on her waist. She's ready.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a good opportunity to get rid of Perfect Mist, and then men would be all free.
She looks, because her and Perfect Mist are back to back, and she notices them coming for Perfect Mist. She just goes, What did you two do?
I didn't do anything. I did nothing. I was just talking, I swear.
And that's when you like step back and push something over that knocks the first guy out. Or what's up?
I was just like, I surrender. I'm taking a step back. Meanwhile, my dog is like running to protect me, but I trip over it backwards, barely catch the edge of the table, and whatever fork, knives, chopsticks, or whatever goes flying and stabs people in the eye.
Pot of hot tea in a guy's face.
We get the slow-mo of Chao Sung like doing the Matrix style ducking underneath the flying cutlery. Yeah, I like
So good.
What's the fighting style of Northwindling look like? Like, we know the opening, and then you're
it is called Winter's Rose. It's sort of based off of Shaolin spear fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this guy, he goes like for a, what does he have? He's got like a burly like one-edged blade. It's more machete than sword, basically. That's what he goes for, yeah. So that's what you're contending with.
Yeah, I think I'll win that.
So we'll let's handle the fight mooks first, because that will pertain to Chao Sung and Mist. And that's when you fight a group of foes who are collectively below your scale, roll. On a hit, you defeat them. Describe how you do so. On a 10+, you do so easily. On a miss, choose the number overwhelm, and you must retreat, and you can gain XP from that, or you win at a cost. If multiple characters fight mooks, one PC retreats, the others must as well.
So I think you.
Oh,
When,
who already wrote?
I think when you see. Did I just roll that? I didn't mean to. I wasn't even on the screen. I don't know how that happened.
Was that your roll from before? No, that was.
No, that was my roll from before. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the 11. Yeah. I think because I have a move called Heaven Sword and Dragon Saber, it's a legendary blade.
Mm-hmm.
So my saber, it's this cool metal finish that nearly shines blue, and on the hilt of it, it has this serpent that wraps around it into these opal eyes, and carved into the blade are pictures of the heavens above: moon, star, sun. Because my style is called Sun and Moon Serpent Sword. That's so many S's. And I think as soon as Perfect Mist like falls over, Chao Sung ducks and tries to make a rounded swing at the people who are encroaching on her in Perfect Mist.
And I think we get this aerial shot from above as this starts, right? There's like a couple of guests who are like fleeing the scene and the others moving in as all this breaks out. Yeah, we got your description already. So let's get your 2 rolls down.
Okay. Are you just rolling with your fighting style, your element?
Yeah, exactly. When you're fighting, you're always rolling with your fighting style.
Okay.
The one that you
then
picked.
I gain a +1 when I deal with mooks because of my
with the sword.
My sword, yeah. So
yep.
+2, awesome. It's not the right window, Katie. Oh, I failed.
Oh.
You get my XP, right, on fails?
Actually, no.
Oh
no. Not like depends. There's 2 sets of rules. There's one-shot rules, and then you do, and but not. I don't think for this. And I want the other ones too. So use as well. Your fighting mooks with your style.
Star.
Yeah.
What?
You're fighting. So you roll with your style.
Oh, wood again, I guess.
In this case, it's actually whatever your style is. That's always the same, the one that you picked, which is wood. Yeah, so that's
okay.
Better than me.
Here's a thing. Did you add the +1, Katie?
I did. Yeah, I rolled +2.
Yeah. So here's a thing you could do. Either one of you could tap or burn your bond, if you have one that's applicable here, to give you another +1 after the roll. That would at least make you have a 7 to 9, Katie. Or
yeah,
you could just go with whatever
I want to go with whatever you're gonna do. I live for this drama. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
We have 3 sessions. Let's make them as good as we can.
Yeah.
I think this is what happens here. Well, for one, I want to hear how basically missed how you accidentally defeat all the mooks.
Okay, so when the cutlery goes flying and stabs a guy in the eye, Mist runs forward, being all like, "Oh no! I'm sorry!" And the guy's like screaming and flailing, and he's like, "No! Wait! Don't! Let me help you! Grabs it, pulls it out. Meanwhile, some guy was coming up behind him, and like when he pulls it out, he got stabbed in the throat. Like, and I'm like, I'm sorry. And then meanwhile, the dog's coming over, and Miss is like flailing, and dog like just kind of like grabs Miss robes and starts like swinging him around like in a circle, and he's all like knocking everybody down.
Oh my god.
It's like, careful. I'm sorry, this dog is
This is the best movie.
I think
like still like whatever cutlery it was.
I think Chao Sung, we've seen you like having drawn your blade, right? With that like the awesome description of the intricacies on it. And you're just like standing there slack-jawed at what's happening in front of you.
Yeah.
I'll get back to what actually happens with your missed roll there. But let's get to Northwind. Because you're basically dueling a named, not just a Mook person, one-on-one. But he's nonetheless, he's still of a lower scale. So this is always what will determine how a fight is going to go. So this guy is of a lower scale, but we still need to see, but a worthy foe nonetheless. So when you fight against a worthy foe, roll plus style element. If your foe is lesser scale, on a hit you win the conflict, describe your awesomeness. On a 10 plus mark XP if you show mercy or let them escape. On a 7 to 9, you may either let them go or finish them at a cost, now or in the future. On a fail, you win, but mark G. They may escape and might return at a higher scale.
Okay, so I'll do my roll first.
Yeah.
So it's just with the chi, no other modifiers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, that's no good.
So potentially same thing here. You could, if you have an idea how this might correspond to a bond, you could burn it and make it 7 to 9. Or you could go with a failure consequence, which isn't too bad. You still get to win, but you're basically going to be hurt and not fighting shape afterwards.
I think I think this would be a good scenario to use my bond with Perfect Mist.
Perfect Mist delivers the yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're sort of like, I'm sort of having fun fighting him, getting a bit too into it and being a little careless, and then suddenly like Perfect Mist comes out of nowhere and finishes him.
So I think so. Yeah, I can see how that goes.
Yeah.
On a 7 to 9, yeah.
I think I sort of am being a little careless because I'm not taking this seriously, and I'm just sort of more trying to show off. So I'm not really paying as much attention to keeping him from getting away. And then he like goes to turn to run, and I don't know, Perfect Mist is like, after the dog spun him around, like he got let go and he just
gained force and he just like
into him.
Yes.
So after being disarmed and knocked over by the dog, and I think he like rolls around and like the leaves on the ground there. Do you let him go or do you finish him with a cost now or in the future? Because that's the question from the move, right? So you can let him go here.
I don't think Northwind is interested in killing him. She wanted to leave him alive so she could question him, but I think maybe in attempting to leave him alive, he escapes.
Yeah.
Like she stands over him, like with her spear at his neck.
Oh, like I don't want to deny you that. Maybe you can get something out of him here, if you want to. That's definitely a.
I'm probably just gonna have my spear at his neck and be like, "Why did you try to poison us?"
Yeah, this is definitely then hearts and minds. When you pressure someone susceptible to your words and being at the end of your pointy stick, basically, is them being susceptible.
Even if he wasn't susceptible, I have Trickster.
Oh yeah, true. Yes, you can always get people to talk, basically.
Yeah. I think for this I'm probably using water. More of the wisdom, because knowledge is what we're after right here, rather than just killing him. So I'm going to be rolling this, right? 8.
Nice. So on a 7 to 9, they can instead choose to.
I choose death.
I can choose to either reveal, which would be what you're going for, right? Overreact, hesitate, or alienate. I think I'm going to give you what you were after, right? I think he's going to like scramble backwards on his ass and it's like, you were just supposed to get a message. Don't you dare come to that engagement. And he tries to pick himself up and run away.
He's like, okay, that's all I wanted to know. Bye.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm just like lying flat on my back on the ground, like, oh, what happened?
Yeah. And then we cut back and see what Chao Sung, what's actually been happening with you, right? You looking at what at the still unfolding chaos in front of you, when you like suddenly feel a searing pain in your neck, in the shoulder, and it's so severe that like you drop your blade, and then there's like a black hood pulled over your head.
Oh, this is fine. This is fine. This is fine.
Yeah, and Northwind and Perfect Mist, as you like turn around to look at to survey, there's like I think still the quivering blade of Chao Sung in the ground, but no sign of her.
Oh, my dog's ears are perked up and he's like, bork, bork, bork. And I sit up.
You muted.
Ling's just like, I knew it. I knew it.
What happened?
Well, I mean, Chao Sung wouldn't just leave her sword here.
Did they get her?
I would assume so.
Oh man, we got to find her. I'm like jumping to my feet.
Can your dog track her? Track her scent?
He can try. Dog. Smell Chao Sung.
Point at the sword. Does the dog listen?
Do you just call him Dog, or does he actually have a name?
His name is Dog.
Oh, okay, yeah. And yeah, I think he he woofs twice and starts searching. Like he does what you meant for him to do. And who took the sword, by the way?
I think the dog was using the sword to track the scent. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but just to take the scent and then
I guess I'll
then
take
he's off. Yeah. So you're carrying the sword. And yeah.
Before we go, I pay for tea.
Nice.
My secret clan comes in and pays for the damages.
I don't have damages money.
Yeah, I don't think you caused any damages. The broken plates and tables were
I caused
probably
the
all
most
the
damage.
And yeah, it leads you down. Basically behind the tall house. It slopes down to the riverbank. And you see this little boat getting away with presumably someone on board.
I point to it. There!
I run across the water.
Oh, you do?
I don't know if I can.
Of course you can.
Or maybe there's like a bridge that the boat's about to go under, and I like run to the bridge and run along the side of the bridge to jump into the boat.
I think you definitely, yeah, whatever feels more right to you, because you could also run across the water.
No, I want to run across like the side of the bridge sideways.
To intercept it, yeah. That will definitely require an overcome roll, though.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I'm like watching this, and I was like, I have the coolest friend.
If it succeeds. Yeah, I want to use fire for this. I'm allowed to use fire. It's my style element.
You can choose whichever you like.
Okay. Speed and passion. Let's go. 7.
It's a 7 though. On a 7 to 9, you. Where was it? On a 7 to 9, you flinch, hesitate, or stall. The GM can offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. So here's the choice you're going to get. You can make it onto the boat, but as you're basically running across the side of the bridge, you see 2 people who have like someone struggling, like put in like a someone tied up. It's obviously Chao Sung, right? On the boat, and as you're running alongside the bridge, they're pulling up long pikes. You can either make it onto the boat, but you will have to mark your G, which will leave you defenseless as well, because you can't fight. Or you can, I think I'll let you get a good glimpse at them, but you need to avoid them and let them go. So I'll let you ask a question about who they are, or something you want to know about, or where they may be headed to, so you'll definitely walk away with something here.
I think I'll get a good glimpse of them.
How do you, like, in last minute fend off their attack?
I think one of the pikes goes for north wind, and she twists in the air and kicks off the flat of it and ends up just going right into the water.
Mm-hmm.
And she, comes up and watches the boat sail off.
Yeah, and I think as you do, what you notice or see, you see like a like his sleeve rolls up, and you see, I think you see the markings of you see markings that are all too familiar to you, because to anyone else they would like look like ordinary tattoos, right? Or like something that some thug may wear. But if put together in the special orientation, they mark someone as a member of the 100 Ghosts.
As like the boat's going, just sailing down the river, both Chaosung and Perfect Mist probably hear Ling yell, "What?"
And Chow already feels safe because she knows that voice. Well, she'll be coming for me eventually.
Perfect Mist during this time had just waded into the water and it's like fiercely doggy paddling, trying to catch up. Like, don't worry, I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna save you. Oh god, so tired. I can't help. The dog has to like drag him back to shore.
Then a shark tries to eat you, but its nose hits you and makes you fly through the air and land in the boat.
I think this is how you actually end up crossing the river on the other side of the as we see you both come out of the water again, and yeah, like your friend's been kidnapped, and there's an engagement party that's going to happen in a few days, and I also want to cut to you. What happens to you, Chaosung, is so what happened to you is you wake with a headache. Something or someone has drugged you, and you're waking up from that, and you're in some damp dark cellar or something, as you only slowly come aware of that there is someone very close by, and now your friends, they can't keep anything to themselves, can they? And I think it's your master who like squats down in front of you. And I think that's actually where I want to leave it for tonight. Because that's going to be an interesting conversation for next time.
It's fine.
Wait.
Great. Yeah, that was great.
Yes, leave it to next session.
We can go around and say who we are. If you have any plugs where people can find you, let them. You can put links in the chat. Doesn't matter. Kiko, what about you?
Hey, I'm Kika. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/KikaVO. It's the best place to follow me if you want to know where I'm at, because I'm mostly just play games on other people's channels.
Starladay, what about you?
I'm Starladay on Twitch, Alcor the Demon on Twitter. I pretty much just play D&D on my channel, Link Fest, on Wednesday nights, Pacific Standard Time. And I'm on the RPG Labs channel Tuesday afternoons, again, Pacific Standard Time. That's it.
Matthias. Also, thank you for running this for us, and I'm so excited for more.
Thank you for playing with me. Like, I've only had a chance to play this one time before, and this was the first time me running it. It's but I mean I know the inspirations very well, so and this was super fun, and I love these characters, and I love how hard you're leaning into their tropes. That's super fun, and I think we've got a good little bit of drama going on there, so I had a lot of fun. You can find me at mthsplgr on Twitter, and next up on Tuesday on Pro Restarter's channel for Apocalypse World, where I'm playing a very strange kind of angel. And
if anyone wants to watch that game, the first session ended with an orgy.
Yes, and the second session ended with like executing someone. So
nice.
That's Apocalypse World.
Two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, it's not a nice world. And on Thursdays, I'm on Sophie May's channel, and I'm running Monster Hearts there. And next week again here. I'm looking forward to doing the second session here of this. Thank you for having me, and thank you for playing with me.
So good. Yeah, like Matthias said, our planned session is for Saturday. I think we might have some people out. It is holiday time, so it might be rescheduled. We don't know yet. Hopefully not. Follow me on Twitter. We'll let everyone know. But we've got 3 sessions planned, so we definitely want to finish. It was so good, and for Kiana to come in and enjoy this dramatic mess we've already formed. I'm Katie. You can follow me here. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/katieface. This whole next week I'll be on Off the Table. I think every day except Tuesdays during the day I'm on the Greyhawk channel. Thursdays I am running Monster Hearts on Scraticus's channel. We have 2 sessions left, so things are gonna get so good. You can also find me here every other Saturday. Last night we started a new D&D campaign here. I'm very excited. The players are great. We had a naked Asimar just walk into a bar. The start of every great D&D campaign, am I right?
Yeah.
But yeah, this will be on YouTube later today. I hope everyone enjoyed it. We're going to send a raid over to Bird vs. Plane. I think they're playing some Divinity Original Sin. So all of you have a great afternoon or night or day or whatever it is time zone for you.
Bye.
Bye everybody.